audio stream. We're live. We're live.
We are live. We're not live here yet because I can't figure out how to do this.
Dude, we're live.
How do you put a message like this? I feel like this shouldn't be that hard. It's when you know, like, I become my dad. Like, I don't know what the fuck to do in these new applications.
What are these young?
What are these TikToks?
What in tarnations? I think we could say that. I don't know anymore.
Oh, add a topic. Well, what's our topic? Pop culture, dude?
Dude. Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about some AI stuff today.
It's pop culture, dude.
It's pop culture. We're popping and we're culturing. Let's see what's going on here. So this is...
Oh, we can add a service. Did you know that? We should add our consulting services. Shit. Somebody might hit us up like to build something. That'd be kind of cool.
Build an app and everything like that. Yeah.
Dude, I would fucking like $5,000. How much do you think we charge for shit like this? What we're building here, like so like.
Well, so like I was
fuck, I'm just gonna go live.
Yeah, go live. I'm already live on the other stuff. I'm already recording.
All right.
Let's do a quick introduction first.
Hey, on the real though, dude, Taylor Swift was on the New Heights podcast and it broke the internet.
On the what podcast?
So Travis Kelce and his brother Jason Kelce, they have a podcast together called New Heights.
Yeah,
it's pretty funny. And Taylor Swift was on it for the first time. And what was epic was Jason Kelce did an introduction, like all hyped, like, 14 times Grammy winner, like super hyped up. By the end of it, he was fucking red. Like his face was completely red.
Is it long-winded kind of introduction?
It was for like 50 seconds straight.
It was like Taylor Swift
yelling for 50 seconds straight, dude.
Winner.
That's a
MVP, Heisman Trophy winner.
But
she's won the Olympic gold 5 times.
No, they said Super Bowl champion.
Super Bowl champion.
I was like, this is hilarious.
Super Bowl MVP, All-Star. Yeah.
You can do the intro, dude.
I will. I mean, welcome. Oh, hold on. Let's do.
We're always doing welcomes, dude.
Let's do the.
We're live. We're already live. There you go, dude.
Bienvenidos a episodio 21. Welcome to episode 21, ladies and gentlemen. They said we wouldn't make it. They said we wouldn't make it to past 10. They said they wouldn't make it past 15. And here we are, 21 episodes later.
21. You know what's funnier than 21?
22.
Hey. That's an all-time joke, dude. That is a legendary SpongeBob joke that never gets old.
What's funnier than 21? 22. But welcome to another great week of Bibhor and Oskar podcast, the Bob podcast.
The Blue Orange Labs.
Blue Orange Labs has officially launched. We have a few things to talk about, man. We've been chatting about here. So here, I think today is going to be a unique episode because you're going to be seeing us kind of maybe work in progress.
We should get that. We should get that thing out of the way. So someone, I guess, has been commenting for months. So since like episode 3 or something, they're always asking
Leah.
They're always asking for our first wedgie story.
There you go.
So I'll answer this, I guess. I was the wedgie giver.
Bibhor's a bully. Who would have thought?
Yeah, that's kind of how that went.
Who was the victim? Like, was it somebody? You don't even remember your victim.
I don't even know.
He was cold-blooded, ruthless. He said, "I saw a victim, and I just said I'm going to take it."
Oh, shit! My wife's on here. Hey, she's gonna leave. But yeah, the first wedgie story, dude.
How old were you, Bob, when you first gave a wedgie?
I was like, dude, I was probably like third grade, third grade, somewhere in there. So I mean, it's not like that.
And why do you think you were a bully?
I mean, you're coming at me hard right now, dude.
Well, I mean, like,
I think
let's talk
like,
about it, man. You brought it up.
What? No,
maybe
dude,
this is why Leo or Leia want. Maybe it was Leo or Leia. Maybe she was the first. And
the bully.
Like, I want Bibhor to confess to his sins.
Like, that's such a particular thing to ask too. Like every single episode. Like, what is the wedgie story? What do you have one, Oscar? Was it you? Was it you? Did we go to the same high school?
No,
it was in high school.
Man, what a vengeance story! Only it's been 25 years. You know, I've been waiting. Muta to make it. I'm gonna kill Bob. Bibhor's gonna die soon. Oh, forgive me that wedgie. It's like that Happy Gilmore where he's like, "Oh, well, thanks for giving me a call." And
he crossed it off his list.
Yeah.
What's that in Happy Gilmore? That was in Billy Madison. Billy Madison. Yeah.
Right.
That movie's all time great.
Dude,
movie.
you know, some people they give Adam Sandler some. I think his movies are pretty. His movies are pretty fun.
Dude,
man.
one of my favorite Adam
he has a
Sandler
good
movie
hero's journey down. You know,
that we watch every single year is Just Go with It.
Just go.
It's where he like goes to Hawaii
with that's not Jen Francis.
Yeah. Shit's hilarious. One of my favorite movies. We watch it like every year, a couple times.
Yeah, I'm an OG guy. He kind of my oldest brother kind of looks like when they were younger. They kind of looked
like Adam Sandler.
Like They kind of had like an egghead and everything like that. But
are you a like Home Alone 1, 2, or 3?
Home Alone 1, probably.
Home Alone 1.
Yeah. I was never really that into Home Alone.
What is the Christmas movie? What is the favorite Christmas movie?
My favorite Christmas movie? I don't know. I'll do like a Christmas Carol or a Christmas Story. You know
Christmas.
what I mean?
Aw, dude.
Well, that's one. There's two different ones. So there's one that's where it's like, you know, I'll give you the moon, you know, whatever. And then the second one is like, you're going to shoot your eye out, you know?
I watch it every year.
Yeah.
Christmas Story. I watch it every year.
I feel like it's just like a nostalgic thing, you know? And then, I don't know, maybe like
Four Christmases.
Four Christmases
end to end is hilarious. End to end, that movie is just hilarious.
Do you think it's because like you feel those experiences? Like, is that movie calling to you?
Like, what? I don't know. One, I didn't grow up celebrating Christmas, and two, like, what?
Do you see yourself in Vince Vaughn?
Four Christmases.
Christmas Stories are good. Yeah.
Christmas Story is good.
You see yourself in Vince Vaughn?
Do I see? I think Vince Vaughn is one of the funniest. Funniest person. You know, is what is that movie? Wedding Crashers.
Yeah.
All time great, dude. All time great movie. Yeah. It's hilarious, dude. The entire movie is hilarious.
Did you watch, remember, like in Swingers, like his original movies and everything like that?
I have seen it.
Jon Favreau.
It's been a while. Dude, he's done some great, like,
he's been in some good movies.
Some good, yeah.
I just watched one with him on Netflix called The Nonnas, where he opens up like an Italian restaurant, and it's Nonnas. It's like a bunch of grandmas that are there, essentially helping him cooking up in the restaurant and everything like that. But it was all right. It was good. It was like a feel good kind of.
Okay.
He's getting older. You know what I mean? I don't know.
You know what's crazy? Like, Netflix is, like, I think we were talking about this last week or something. Is the biggest production company in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they've beaten Disney. They've beaten everybody, dude.
Yeah.
They make bangers. Like, Netflix makes good shit now. Like, and it wasn't like that even like 10 years ago, right? Like, Netflix was like shows were still coming out on TV that were good. Now, like, dude, like, everything is on stream. All good shows are on Netflix.
Oh yeah. I mean, they were just ahead of their time, man. Think about it. It's like, I mean, they were the first ones to do it digitally, and they didn't have to produce. They didn't have to be a supplier of all these, you know, different movies. They just had to put it on the website, pretty much, kind of thing. You know, it's like they didn't have to send these reels to every single movie theater. They didn't have to produce DVDs after the fact. They didn't have to produce VHS. They didn't have to.
I think
all that logistics and all that overhead and everything like that. You just say no. So I produced a movie and then put it on my platform.
I had Netflix when Netflix used to send you DVDs.
But they didn't make the DVDs.
No, I know they didn't make the DVDs, but like again, the whole thing is like you don't have to get a location. You can have it come to your house.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
so.
They're like, what piece?
But the streaming
need
just
to exist.
The streaming thing just killed it.
Oh yeah.
High speed internet killed it because now you had movie on demand, and there was a nostalgic experience of going into Blockbuster and getting a movie. I used to go to Planet Hollywood too. I don't know if people remember that, but you know what's so funny?
Dude, Planet Hollywood, yeah, with all the CDs and everything
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. They used to be big places, but now
So Wendy's, I don't know if it was Wendy's or McDonald's. One of those companies did a thing like partnership with Blockbuster, and it was like on their drink. If you were to win this like game, you get a 1 year free of Blockbuster rentals, and I won.
No way.
Yeah. So we had a whole rental for free for 1 year for a Blockbuster movie. I go basically, I used to live like 5 minutes away when I was in Michigan to Blockbuster, and we used to just like, me and my brother go get movies
every day. Even the games, the video games and everything.
Oh
like
no, not video games, just movies. The funny thing was like basically the account didn't have a like restriction, like age restriction. Obviously we weren't old enough. But like the account didn't have age restriction, and we were just getting all these like not I was like adult movies, but like violent movies, funny movies, like rated R movies, right? And one time my mom saw like we had gone old school. And I don't know if you remember, the disc is the streaking scene where he's like naked and running, but like it's the guy, and then the hole is the butt. And then my mom saw that and she got so livid, dude. She was like, "What the fuck were you guys watching?"
This is porn or something like that. This is what you rented from Blockbuster. Yeah.
I was like, dude, it's. She didn't even want to put that in. She thought we were just watching like some like. I was like, "But you've seen the movie, right?"
Yeah.
Hilarious fucking movie. Like Will Ferrell's another one. Just a fucking.
He's from Anaheim, you know that, or Orange County.
Orange County. He's a big Lakers guy. He's always at the game.
Is he? Yeah. He still lives in like Irvine, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Big Orange County guy. That guy. Big Orange County guy.
All right. So
we got the first wedgie. So Leah. Hopefully,
whoever that is,
long-winded. So we answered your question. We got you where you need it to be.
There you go.
But continuing down the line, we've been steadily focused, working towards building our buildings. We're finishing up the blueorangelabs.com. You'll see the URL down below. Blueorangelabs.com. Our thesis is, what's our thesis, Bibhor?
Dude, we will make it for cheaper. Damn, that sounds so like trashy. Like we will make it. But here's the thing, right? Like I think for too long, too many things that are monotonous and should be easier are being taken by these corporate greed to charge you exorbitant amount of money to where there's no reason, and it's just like fees, I guess, right? Just for the sake of that. And with AI, we're able to mitigate a lot of those things and just make it. So we're working on building applications, suites of applications that are all going to be under the blue and orange umbrella that solves everyday problems. So, starting with what we have already out, and I think it's actually, you can go create a basic will on there. And if you're listening to the podcast, what's the code, dude? We got a code, right? Do we have a code? BOP10. If you go on the website, we'll create a code right after this podcast is done. You can use that code and you get, what do you want to give them?
You get a free year. That's what you get.
You get a free year. We will do a free year. So if you're interested in creating a will and you want to do it for free, we got it. We will put the link. Actually, I put the link on the page.
It was on the last episode as well, but you'll see it below in the description as well. So if you look down there.
Yeah, and use it. Use the code and build a will, especially if you have children, if you have anyone that is dependent on you, if you have a dog, especially if you have children, right? And you should have a will for the basic fact of what's going to happen to your kids if both parents die. You don't want the kids to go into the system for even a day, right? Like, so you want to make sure that part is taken care of, that part is settled, so that way you don't have to think about it, right? So have a will. Again, if you want to get it a little more complex, if you own real estate, if you want to put like other assets, you can do that on there, and we basically give you the whole process of like, hey, like this is how you legitimize the will. We create the document for you, and you got to get a witness, the tester, who's basically you, that signs it, and there you go. You have a legit document, and we give you option to notarize it, which you should, because you don't want to have the courts check the legitimacy of the document. But if you get notarized, it's done. That's fight a legal battle. So you whip that out, or you give that to somebody you trust, or basically the guardian who would be the guardian after, and they just have that document, and you're set. Simple as that. Upload it into our platform, and you'll have access forever, or just share directly with that person, which is probably the better idea. Like once it's signed and notarized and everything, you give it to the person you trust. But again, most companies out there, they're charging hundreds of dollars. So if you go to like LegalZoom, if you go to any of these other platforms, they'll charge you $100 a month, $200-$300 a month for something that we're gonna be able to give you for $25, right? The goal is like, hey, everyone should have it. We're gonna have different options, like a yearly option where it's like $50 a year. You can create customized wills, different things. If it's for a little bit more complex folks, different other documents as well, power of attorney and things like that. But again, the whole point is you don't need to go to a lawyer to create a power of attorney document or a will that's going to cost you hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars, where with the use of AI, we're able to do it for fraction, right? And that's the goal. And we have other ideas we're working on as well. That will just be game changer.
That's our ultimate, I think, for Blue Orange Labs. That's our hypothesis. That's our thesis, right? So it's like these things, leveraging the technology that exists today, using AI, using LLMs, using things as they get more advanced. Can we make it more efficient, cheaper for people to actually use and take advantage of, and to better prepare themselves, right?
Yeah. And one of the things I don't know if I don't think I've shared it with you, but one of the things that one of the tools I want to create is like, and it exists right now. There are other companies like Prompt Genie, Prompt Guru, Prompt Cowboy, where you are able to create prompts that are catered to doing what you are wanting to do, right? Like a lot of times people have a hard time writing prompts. What the fuck do I write, right? So we're gonna build something that does it, and I kind of want to do this just and make it free. Just because, hey, like you should be able to use AI to your fullest capabilities, right? So again, that's for the people, dude. That one's for the people. But again, a lot of these other companies are charging, right? And shit, we'll do it for $2. I don't whatever server costs. There you go, $2. But things like that, right? Make it easy.
There's a lot of things out there that right now it's like they're just kind of like what seem maybe relatively inexpensive, and they kind of sell it to you of like they sell the need. Like, why do you need a will? Well, when you die, you don't want it to be up to other people. You don't want it to be up to the government, that's for sure. But you also don't want to cause conflict within your friends, your family, people who you love. You want to make sure that all of those things are kind of taken care of. It's a morbid topic, right? It's not a great topic, but it's something that ultimately every single human being is going to have to go through and deal with. Whether you're on both sides, on every single side, you're going to have to deal with it, right? So you have to be, it's better to be prepared than unprepared, right? Because being unprepared is going to end up in a world of mess, and that's where people get into bigger problems, right? They have to deal with all these legal issues after the fact, and that becomes a much more costlier thing, So it's things like that. But simultaneously, while that problem and that fear should exist kind of to an extent, we don't believe that you should be charged as an arm and a leg to be able to accomplish and take care of these things. These things should be within arm's reach and obtainable, right? For you to be able to do the things that you want to do. So that's our goal and our thesis, is to be able to do these things here and there. You're going to see other applications. We talk about Contract Guard, the Prompt Cowboy that you're talking about, some other things that we're working on that are again, just this idea of like, how do we take these problems and make them cheaper, more efficient, and easier and more obtainable for people, right?
Yeah. And again, we are trying to come from the idea of a problem, right? Like there are problems that exist in everyday life, frustrations of doing the same task over and over because no one has figured out a better way to do it, right? Um, and there are so many of these, so many, right? Like just shit. One right now is like what I can think of is like people hate filling out forms. It's absolutely worse. Someone sends you a PDF document, and you got to fill that shit out. I don't like you, right? Those are the type of things that with AI you can solve very, very easily, right? Like, and again, don't want to go in and give out the secret sauce here, but like things like that, right? Those are easily solvable things if built correctly that you can do.
I think that's, I mean, maybe a good point to kind of maybe somewhat, not at a segue, but speak about how this vibe coding and coding as it is using AI isn't as easy as it seems, or as people make it out to seem, right? It isn't just about putting in a prompt and an application is going to pop out.
Oh no,
You may have a good kind of like looking thing on the front end, but actually putting it together, making sure that it's safe, that it's secure, that it's scalable, that it's usable, is a mess. I mean, something that really I think
no, yeah.
even ourselves, even having done it, we still are amazed by like, man, there's some things that are just like, it's like you fix one thing and it breaks another, and it's a process. It's chipping away, but it's
And the
not
thing
an
is,
easy thing
like
to do,
you don't know. It's you cannot fix what you didn't write, right? The issue is like when you go build these things, the AI is actually writing the code, so you have to really like be able to explain it to the AI in a very efficient way, not to fuck up.
Well, you ultimately become like you have to become like a technical project manager, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you're telling this engineer to do it, but you also, to an extent, have to be able to read through it and kind of say, this doesn't look right. You know, it's like what you're trying to say doesn't look like the thing what I'm trying to tell you. You know,
Business
like,
analyst. I think that's what the job title is. I actually right after our first business venture failed many years ago.
White Horse Credit Services.
I was going to basically go through this training, and the job was becoming a business analyst. And what the whole job is, you talk to a leadership, and then you talk to your technical person to basically figure out what the leadership's trying to tell them and what you need to tell them to build. It's like the middle person. Because let's say you talk to a leader person, it's like, oh, build me this thing. Okay, well, like, what the fuck does that mean, right? Then you got to go figure out how you are going to tell these nerds to build this fucking thing out, right? Like, that's how it's hard, right? Because it's coders, right? These people.
Well, no, I mean, a lot of tech companies they have a product manager for each feature,
right?
Essentially, right?
So
it's like
who understands he's not like he could be a coder, but he understands the linguistic aspect of like how to translate what what the business is asking for to who's going to develop it.
Correct.
Because they might develop it and it's not what the business is asking, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be someone like that really understands like from 1,000 foot. And one of the things that like that really we were talking about right before is like these vibe coding apps make really good front ends, and everything else you have to think about the back end logic. You have to think about like building secure databases to make sure that like it's actually spitting out what you want it to spit out, right? It's not just like crap, because 90% of the time AI is wrong. Like, so you got to figure out it's not doing wrong things, right?
You can't be quick with it. You really have to take the time to kind of like dig through every corner and kind of see like, hey, no, this is incorrect. This is not right. But like I mentioned, you've tried to fix one thing and it breaks another thing in the process, right? So it's kind of like, how do you? I think you made a good point. Prompting is a key thing to doing it, right? If you don't know how to correctly prompt the agent, you're going to run into issues, right? So it's almost a pertinent thing to remind the agent, saying, hey, do not change or break features as you are making this fix or feature update, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like
and it seems dumb, but it's like, again, it's like over communicating it's like a two human being, over communicate every step so they can understand it to the fullest. Have you ever seen those like TikTok or YouTube videos where it's like engineers is like explaining steps? How complicated actually is it to explain steps? If someone is reading it in like a literal form, right? They're like, and I think it was a dad giving his son an example, and it says like, how do you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, right? And it says like, open jar, and he opens the jar, and it says, put knife in jar, and he just takes a knife and he drops it in the jar, and like backwards. It's like if you take it literal, then it's you have to really explain each thing for someone to fully grasp and understand it. It's like, and it's not that easy. We, even though our mind can visualize it.
Right. The computer can't. They're not there yet. And that's a very, very valid point, like to kind of mention for all like the vibe coding, all the stuff. Like, I don't think you should try, because this is how they sell it. Okay, so if you go to any of these companies that make it lovable, what's Reptile, whatever. Replit. We use Base 44. A lot of these companies, if you see their ad, they're like, want to build a Airbnb in 30 seconds?
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? Like, you can't do that. It's just not possible to build Airbnb or Uber in 30 seconds. The amount of like, the vastness of that aspect is so insane. You are trying to connect random people to random people for a service that can go from A to Z. Like, in essence, that itself is easy, but like building that infrastructure out is like severely complicated, because in privacy protection, like there's a component of like payment, and different payment goes to different, the driver gets something, the Uber gets something. All of that has to be written out differently, or if the driver sees the same thing as the main Uber sees, then they're like, oh, I'm making 60% less. Like, what the fuck? Like, so like a lot of those things are small things, but like they matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think creating a Uber or Airbnb where that it's a, what do you call it, crowd model is very hard. That peer-to-peer model is not as easy as it seems. Creating something simple like SurveyMonkey, right? Like, you can use AI to build SurveyMonkey like so easily. So,
well, and that's kind of like, yeah, you're right. It's like it's much more complicated to kind of build something that big. Though, can you kind of chip away at different pieces of it, kind of like the outskirts of like what those functions are, and kind of make it in an easier way?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's more so the move when it comes to.
I think, verticalized product, super, super niche verticalized products that it takes zero to, I would say, very, very minimal backend to build out is the product that you want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, think of it again. You can like one of the things that we were building that we just kind of flat out just gave up on was this mechanic LLM model. Like, basically, it was like, hey, you put in all this again, and it could be something that we tried to do it later.
I was gonna say, yeah.
But it was simply as like, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cars that exist right now, and there's thousands and thousands of private mechanic shops, not part of like some large corporation, right? How do they fix cars? Like, you would think, oh, one person can't know everything about every single car. There's thousands of cars, there's thousands of models, thousands of not thousands of years, but thousands of variations of a car, right? So there's going to be something that's different for each car. Like, even how you change an oil on a certain car is going to be different, right? So the whole point of this app was to basically put in the make, model, all this nonsense, and describe what the problem is, and it gives you exactly how to fix that problem. Some issues that what we were trying to do, again, just was a little bit complex, I guess. Like, we were trying to figure out how to put a right YouTube video to that to fix that. Like, all that got too complicated to create in a simple app. And we could try it again, down the road. But again, that's a market that exists. And then, you got to just figure out how you're going to penetrate it, right? Like, your go-to-market strategy has to be like, if you want to target that, because you're targeting small businesses, right? How are you going to make sure, like, one of those things, I guess, just make it free, right? If it doesn't cost you a lot, make it free, and then you can always charge later. So,
get users, right? Which kind of, like, again, maybe brings up our next thing is, what is our go-to-market plan? Maybe you guys could be with us on our hypothesis here, or on our working session of like, how do we get Better Will AI out to the people, and how do we go to market with no money?
Anyone in the chat, anyone watching this on YouTube, like, how do you take a product to market? How do you take a digital product to market? What are some of the options? And just think of it as like, very, very low budget, right? Like, what strategies would people typically use? Pull up the thing, I guess, like, that we had kind of worked together on, or you had sent me.
Oh, the go-to-market plan itself?
Yeah.
You sent me one the other day. Let me see.
Oh, it's on the main website. Yep. No, yeah.
Where is it at? Blue Orange Labs. I think there's several different avenues of kind of doing it. You know what I mean? But I think there's a few things that we've talked about that have to be kind of important.
So I think again, it has to be ads. I think ad is going to be a primary component of your go-to-market strategy. You have to think of like customer acquisition cost, right? So basically our cost is virtually zero, let's just say. Because the cost is virtually zero, and we sell each product for, let's say $25 or $50. Our average price at like $35, $36, our acquisition per customer acquisition cost has to be lower than that. Than $36.
Yeah.
Preferably we want it to be like $10. If we can get a customer for $10, then we're game. Because at that point, you just pump more money. If you pump more money, more customers will come. Right? But like, I think TikTok, I think Facebook is great, especially like the demographic that we're targeting are generally older people. So also like only 30% of people in the U.S. have a will. So there's 70% of the market that doesn't, and typically older people tend to use Facebook. So I think Facebook is probably like a solid place to kind of start out from a marketing perspective.
Yeah. Well, I agree. I mean, and Facebook, like you say, has like the life events and everything like that we could use and leverage to kind of push it out a little bit more, just saying you have a kid, you get married,
if you're 40, you should get one. Like, that should just be your thing. Hey, like, you're 40. Like, I think, yeah, there's different content. I think a lot of it has to do with what is going to be the thing that they see that takes them to, our website. Like, what is the actual ad collateral? Because that's important. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say, what do they see in Facebook? That's what we have to create.
It sounds like we have to kind of create like a VSL, man. We got to like write a story and create a video about that pain point of having like a family fighting and hating each other because there's no will or understanding of what to do with.
I see these all the time because I go on all these different will websites now just to kind of like see what the fuck they're doing. And I get blasted with like ads. And one of the ads that I've been seeing all the time is this guy. And his product is $150. Fuck you. So basically what I see is he's walking on a golf course. We live in a fucking golf course. He's walking on a golf course. He's just filming himself like this. And he's just like, one of the hardest things that happened to me was, after my wife passed away and not having a will. That made it, difficult. Because if you have a will and you write down everything, like where accounts are and stuff like that, you're not going to have to, your loved one's not going to have to guess. What if you got like a fucking, an account that the person, or like I have 5 401ks. That's a prime example. Throughout my life, I worked at many companies. I have 5 separate 401ks that have not rolled over.
Dude, I was just thinking about that today.
Like if I die, I need a place that I know where they're at. They might not need to know the password, but at least need to know who the 401k is with. So
they know where to
look. Right. So a lot of that stuff needs to be spelled out, and it does in the will, right? Like, and I mean, fuck, you need it, dude. Like, we're literally giving it for like so cheap.
Right. Yeah. and we do the hard work for you. You just have to kind of answer a few questions and
sign and notarize.
And then sign and notarize. I mean, sign and notarize is what makes it official. That is the bit. But reminder as well: a notary can only charge you $10 in the United States.
And again, it's not. It doesn't have to be notarized in every state. It's recommended that you notarize in every state because you don't. It basically validates the document even more, right? Like the court's not going to have any issues if you don't have it notarized. They're going to be like, well, like you don't want that. So we kind of put a claim that, hey, just get all this notarized. And bam, you got it. But again, we have to make a compelling go-to-market strategy. Like, why would someone want to sell this for us? Like anyone in the chat, dude, why would you sell this? Why would you sell this for us?
What you just said was an interesting thing, though. It's like if we could find someone who has had the need to deal with that and just have them kind of share their experience of how important it is to have a will, I think that alone are powerful messages enough to make people want to say, I think I got to look at a will.
No, just
think about that. Think about that. We pay somebody $50 who said it, man.
Just do some method acting, dude. Go walk on the golf course and just start doing some method.
I don't want to lie about me having a. I guess so. Yeah. But yeah,
we could pay some actor to do that. I guess
that's true.
How do I know? How do we know that what he said is true? Like he could just be like, I'm trying to make a quick $50.
That is true.
No, the point shouldn't be that. But the point should be like you should fucking have one because.
But like I mean, I guess that's the selling technique. I mean, that's what you do. The ads should look like that. They
compelling.
Well, yeah, 100%. People don't care about what you say; they care about how you make them feel. You know what I mean? It's like that's one of the wisest things I ever learned. I'll tell you this story real fast. When I was in 5th grade, I was the president of Los Flores Elementary School, ladies and gentlemen. I was the 5th grade president.
5th grade president, not the president of the school.
I was the president of the school, bro. There was nobody higher than me at the academic presidential level. I'm just saying.
On the student body.
The student body. I owned the
jungle
people.
Gym,
dude, I owned the people. The people were mine. I'm just saying. I had no legal rights, but I had a 5th grade teacher who helped me get into there. Her name was Mrs. Oblea, and she gave me some wise advice in the sense of saying, Oscar, because I was thinking of all the right things to say. Like, well, what do I promise? Do I say I'll give you free lunch? My mom was a lunch lady. Like, maybe I'll give like a free pizza every Friday or something. She said, Oscar, no. Don't think about those things. She says, you know what everyone's going to do? They're going to go up there with a nice speech and promise a bunch of things that they'll never deliver on because they have no power. You're in 5th grade. You can't do anything, Oscar. But she says, if you want to win, though, she says, this is what you do. She says, people don't remember what you say. She says, but they'll remember how you make them feel. Go up there and make them laugh, and they'll remember you.
Yeah.
And you know what I did? I did Kung Fu at the time. And so I went up there and I did, everybody was Kung Fu fighting. And I would do like a little dance. And every 30 seconds, I say, vote for Oscar Diaz. And then I go back and do the dance. And then like the whole 9 yards. Kids, they loved it. They were laughing and everything. The kid after me came up and said, I promise you all these things, and I promise you I'm going to be the best president of the and you know who won?
But it's so funny.
You know who won?
I was Kung Fu fighting.
The Kung Fu fighting guy won. The other kid's dad actually called for a recount. They love me so much that the teachers, they told me, like, dude, this guy's dad, he called for a recount. He was so mad that his son lost.
I think that's what, like, I think that speaks a lot, like, with the current situation, right? Like, I think Trump is someone that makes people feel a certain way, right? 100%. Like, I don't think the shit that he says it's emotional to the people.
None of it makes sense.
Yeah, right. But it's very like he connects with certain demographic of people, right? Like,
well, even if you hate him, even if you don't like him, he's making you angry. He's making like
80 million people. No, he's winning, dude.
Yeah.
No, like again, I'll say this, right? Like 80 million people voted for him, 70, 80 million, whatever that was. He's got 80 million people believing in him. That's gotta mean something, right? Like I don't know. Like that alone is like fuck. Like again, power to all presidents, right? Like again, people want to go down and say like, the other candidate got more votes and shit. Like good. I think it's a very hard thing to do to convince fucking 70 other million people to vote for you. I'm not taking away from that. I'm just saying like it is really hard to convince 80 million people to do anything.
Well,
that's just a fucking fact.
At the very least, good, better, and different. The majority, I would say 80% of adult Americans or 90% began paying attention to politics. He made people feel. He made
100%.
Like, again, the feeling may not be good. The feeling could be bad, but he made you feel. It's like, so, hey, there is something.
I will.
Kind
I
of
will
like
say this
to
though.
that,
I will say this. One of the key thing that I think he went off was like, when I was president, things were better, things were cheaper, and then I wasn't president, and things got more expensive. And damn, dude, that kind of messaging hits people, dude. Because you know what they think about when they go to the fucking grocery store? The fucking price of bread went up. The price of it. They don't give a shit about anything, right? People only care on how they're impacted. And when he was president, the price of eggs was cheaper. None of this other stuff matters. None of the fact that we printed, $2 trillion. We had a giant pandemic going on. None of that shit matters. 8 years ago, price of bread was cheaper. And that's it. That's fucking it. And if I feel the pain,
sure, yeah, it's like, well, there's a lot of reasons why, like inflation. There's like a lot of things. Yeah, I mean,
the outside factor doesn't matter because you don't have to. You're just still making $40,000, and someone else is fucking. You're making $40,000, and bread 8 years ago was $2. Now it's $4.
Yeah,
you're still making 40. None of that other shit matters.
Correct.
I'm gonna vote for the guy when the bread was cheaper, dude.
Yeah. I want cheap bread. Yeah. It doesn't matter what else I have to kind of give, but
right. And that's that's what I guess what was going at was like how you make them feel, right? Like I think really, really great presidents make people feel a certain way, right? I think the last one that I think Obama he was a great speaker. Right, like whatever your opinion is, he was a great speaker.
Dude, you watch his DNC, him like accepting that in the Denver Broncos stadium and everything like that. You had even if you didn't like him, you had tears in your eyes, man. You that made you feel like, man, this guy can maybe do something.
You know what I think?
This guy's gonna change.
I think George Bush was funny.
George Bush was
funny, dude.
I wasn't a big fan of, but I miss George Bush kind of nowadays. I'd much rather have a George Bush than a Donald Trump. I go
and see some of the shit he has said, and I was like, man, this guy was fucking funny as fuck. He's just
a cool text. I want to have a beer with.
One
George
of the things
Bush,
was he's like, we're gonna go there and we're gonna get freedom out. Yeah. Now watch me take the swing. What the fuck,
dude? The one where they throw the shoe at him and he just dodges it,
oh, shit.
And then even backs his the security guards off. He's like, I'm watching this guy. Don't worry. He's only got two, and he throws the other one. He's like, ah, and he starts laughing at the guy. He's like, you throw your shoes at me. He's like.
Yeah,
that guy was hilarious, man.
And I'm sure, even going back, Clinton, I feel like he was, I feel like you
the
can't be a president
you could have,
that just is a fucking you have to be a public, especially since the invention of television, you have to be a good speaker.
That's what won John F. Well, that's what lost Richard Nixon.
Yeah,
because he wasn't good on TV.
And I think some presidents are really good, speakers. I think Abraham Lincoln was phenomenal. That the whole 10 years, 44
scores and 7 years ago.
That stuff that's fucking legendary, dude.
Yeah.
Winston Churchill, sometimes even FDR, right? These guys are just fucking galvanizing fucking people.
Yeah. I mean, you really have to you have to command. You have to be a good public speaker, right?
Yeah.
You have to have that cadence, I guess. But
I think that's why they're all mostly lawyers, right? I think that doing that bullshit in trial all the time gets you hardened, dude. Trying to go out there and put your conviction to a jury, it's trying to convince a jury is hard.
You to convince anybody of anything, really, but to do it constantly, is a good practice. But to maybe deviate away from politics, but to kind of take it to maybe bigger companies like Nike, Apple, they come to mind as people who draw emotion, Apple's Think Different, right? Apple's Think Different campaign shows Albert Einstein, Malcolm, Martin Luther King, Gandhi. They don't even show an Apple computer.
I mean, again, I think
all they show is Think Different.
Steve Jobs is probably the greatest marketing person to have ever lived. I don't think anyone that has been better. I don't think anyone since has come that was better. I think flat out, he was leagues ahead. It's not just I
don't think he was drawing on anything super no. He was drawing on that same idea of just kind of
but
people don't care about the
storytelling. What he did was he was very, very good at just telling a simplified story.
Yeah.
It just that hits a chord, and a lot of people can't do that. It's not an easy.
Yeah.
The hardest thing, and I get this in sales, right? I think a lot of people like overcomplicate things. The easiest way to get a sale is to make it as simple as possible for the customer when you're solving their pain point. You don't want to. You can have a super complex product, but you have to make that product so easy to understand on why it solves their problem is how you're going to get a win. None of the other shit matters. Can you explain to them on a very simple term why this makes sense for them? That's it.
Yeah, I mean, when I worked at Apple, right, for many years,
9
for a
years.
long time. But I did sales for a long time. But what they teach you though is to not sell. They say people are not here for you to sell. They're already here. They say what you're supposed to do is just create an experience, make them feel like you're in an Apple store, man. You're buying an Apple computer. This is awesome, and show off what you can do with an Apple computer. Like that's why they hire like artists and they hire people who are into film and music and things like. They don't hire computer engineers there because they want someone to show off like what cool things can you do with it, not like. People don't care about coding.
I mean, I think that's a little bit different. Like, so
things,
Apple is, I think, very different in that sense. Is like Apple sells the experience.
100%.
Apple does not sell like product, right? Because if you really are product centric, like the iPhone is not the best. But Apple sells having an iPhone gives you a status that you cannot buy, right? That's the
experience, the user experience of ease of connection between your devices and the ecosystem and everything like that. Yeah, it's like
no, I mean that is even like that's even like the secondary like thing. I think is mainly is like even like back in the day, if you owned a MacBook, oh, that's cool. Yeah. That's expensive. Like the idea of like these things are expensive. Like,
it's a luxury item,
right? And that they really played on that, even especially for the iPhone, right? It was such a luxury to have an iPhone.
Yeah,
right. And I don't think any company can operate in that level. I think a lot of traditional companies, people buy if you solve their problem. That it's simple as that. You have to solve a problem that the person has. Why should he buy your product? If you are not solving a problem for that person, then he's not going to buy your product, regardless how like.
For sure. Well, I mean, you have to deliver at the end of the day, but I don't know. I also feel like people are so bombarded with so much information. It's like the only way you can really stand out is if, again, it's like you have to draw emotion out of them. You know what I mean? It's like it isn't something like the idea of the field of dreams of like, if you build it, they will come isn't realistic anymore because there's so much fucking like.
Okay, I just thought of something
in your eyes. You know what I mean?
What do you think about? You've seen those 8 videos, right?
The ape AI ones.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What if we use that? Like we use that concept for our will, like something similar. Pump out a bunch of these AI videos promoting our product.
Yeah, I don't know what the cost is, but yeah, I mean, to be honest, like that would make the most sense. That'd be the most cost effective versus us producing an actual video.
Yeah, we give a short 8-second video.
Yeah,
like 8-9-second video. I don't know. I'm just thinking. I feel like having an actual person talking about it, like I think that is going to be more emotional. You know, just sitting on a car, just recording.
Yeah, and I mean, if it's just that on their phone, it shouldn't be that expensive. To do like a full shoot, it's like if we want to do like a full 9 yards.
Let me see. If I scroll enough, I'll probably find that ad.
You know, it's like. Well, but I think that's what to answer your question, like what has to be on Facebook and things like that. I think it has to be things like that. Just really, one, pushing the emotional piece, and 2, selling the ease of it. Right?
Yeah.
You know, look how easy it is to build on the app itself, and then, so that's our way to our customer, right? So, and then we have another avenue of going through. Real estate agents, who else would we go through?
I think real estate agents are perfect. You know, I would say we go through doctors, but like that's illegal as fuck. But I think again, I think that the target is just targeting like emotional messaging to newer parents. Yeah, I don't. I think that's like some HIPAA violation of some degree around there, that kind of stuff.
But we don't think we could leave like a pamphlet there, like, hey man.
I don't think they like. I think it's something that you think about. Like, when you're not the joy is too great right there to think about anything bad's going to happen to you.
Well, no, but like, I mean, like a doctor, like when someone's terminally ill with cancer and they kind of say, like, I think you should prepare.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
That should be a prime target.
You know what I mean? It's like, that's a piece of, not like when you have a baby. I'm saying, like,
can they do, like, I sound so fucked up.
Well,
right
like,
now,
no,
but
but
can you like scrape Facebook? Can Facebook could probably find that?
Well, that's I don't know. I don't know about that.
Did they sell data? Like, that's, come on. Like,
that's a good life.
Write that down.
I wasn't, well,
write that down.
I wasn't thinking that way. I was just thinking like the doctor who has to deliver that usually gives them like a pamphlet of like, hey man, these are things that we suggest, even therapy groups, things like that.
Oh, that's another one.
Can that be?
We should do like that sounds so fucked up.
Man, I'm giving you some terrible ideas.
Contact hospice cares.
Yeah.
Let's contact all the hospice cares.
Well, that's not a bad idea, actually.
Oh, this is what we're creating is very morbid. And
it is a bit morbid, but it's necessary. It's necessary.
Yeah.
It's a thing that unfortunately that everybody is going to have to go through.
Our next app is not going to be as morbid. We're going to create something fun, dude.
Well, no, contract guard is the opposite. The contract guard is hopefully the evolution of opportunities and ideas. You as a business owner saying like, hey, I want to do something, but I want to protect myself simultaneously.
My son has been asking for the thing that doesn't exist, bro.
What is that?
It's that thing. He keeps telling me to call Santa Claus and like call like Elsa and call like fucking Lightning McQueen, dude.
There you go.
He's telling me to call these people. How do I don't know how to call them. But hey, if someone can make an app, we can just call them like, hey.
There you go.
Guess what? Base 44 has a built-out integration to 11 Labs.
So you could.
This is recent though. I haven't given too much thought in that because I'm trying to like do these two things first. But that is brewing in the back of my mind. I think that's a very easy thing to sell, to go to like mom influencers. Because I have that problem. You have that problem. I know you do. And you can call. And we have to build a very concrete LLM. So the fucking thing's not saying some like nonsense to the kids. But those are guardrails you can set up. Like, but hey,
you're speaking to a child. Yeah. You
can't be like, oh, fuck yourself. Yeah. But again, you got to create the guardrails around that. But hey, that's a cool. Like, people would buy that. $2.99 a month, dude. Your kid is gonna want to call. Especially for Christmas.
There's no licensing things against like Lightning McQueen's voice or anything like that. You think?
Licensing probably, but license deals are paid after the fact. Like, it's paid per use. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can draw it. I'm sure you can go get a contract from Disney and says, this is what's going to cost you to license like 10% of your revenue from that item source. So each transaction is like, I'm sure you can like, this probably exists. You can go on the internet and probably find their
the licensing
how licensing agreement. So there's a whole department that do this because they're a big enough brand.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of Disney stuff everywhere and everything like that. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. No, but again, so I have this toy called
Steve Marquis.
I have this toy called I brought it here to sell. What the fuck was this? The Tony's box. If you really listen, they're not the actual people.
You're saying that's not them singing on those things, yeah?
That's not the actual like. So the story could be anything. I can tell a story about Disney, and Disney can't be like, that's copyright. Like, I can tell a Disney story, and they can't do anything.
But you can't sell like a Steve McQueen car and all that jazz. And
it's an app. So the only thing they could probably charge you for is using their likeness and name for something. But I'm sure there's an agreement that could be made online. But again, it's a great fucking app. I would say it's fairly complicated. I'm not gonna like sugarcoat this and say like this could be done in like 5 months, 3 months. Because when it comes to voice authentication, there's a different like the token cost tends to cost a lot more. So you got to figure out how to minimize the token cost for basically doing that API pull.
Yeah.
Right.
Every time that they use it. And
right. So there has to be some other way you think about how to like do that without costing a lot. Because what if a kid makes like 100 calls? Like,
Yeah, you would have to offset the cost. Like it'd be like a $1 a minute or
So
something.
you
like that.
yeah. So I don't know how you would do that. Maybe you just have like you clone like 10 voices. You clone them, right? You don't. It's not the original voice. You don't have to pay any of them.
Mhm.
Jazz, and you can call them using that.
It's like you download.
I think someone like
yeah.
Disney or like Nickelodeon would just buy you outright before you got too big.
Yeah, because then they could use that and everything like that.
Mhm.
And that's a pretty cool service to kind of have, like a cool app. Like, hey, you
Because
want to
it's
call
needed.
these-
Because like think about it, like kids are acting bad. Who do you call? Santa Claus, bro. Kids are acting bad. You can call anyone. You can call the best.
Ho.
Or you can call it. You can
Dude,
call like,
Johnny's acting bad. Johnny, why are you acting bad? Ho,
right.
ho, ho.
Right. See what I mean? Like, and it's interactive. Oh, he's gonna be. Oh no, I'm not acting bad. Like, oh, the mom says. But again, the idea is fucking there, dude. It's fairly complicated to build out. I would say again.
Yeah.
I'm not an engineer either, so but I think I could do it.
It's possible.
I think I could do it.
The question is like, how do you want it? Like, do you want it to be a phone number or an app that
As
just
an app.
calls?
The app, it doesn't call. There's no calling. It just
Okay.
pretends to simulate the call.
That'll make it a lot easier.
Yeah. You're not physically calling. Just stop. That's gonna be that's way too complicated.
Wow, that's
You're
what
getting to like
done
FTC,
this.
like
No, sure. Like you could call like a specific number and it'll have like a
no.
different
There's
kind of
but that's
thing.
how it
That's
goes. Like there's gonna be a contact list, and you just call.
Mhm,
You
mhm.
press it, and it simulates the conversation. So I think when you simulate a conversation, you can have pre-recorded voice. I don't think it's that complicated. Like it might not be that complicated, but I haven't really given it too much thought. Just build these two things out first and see where that goes. We build one a month, dude.
There's an app that you can build the LLM on the back. So I'm wondering if we could leverage that to where it's like we could actually have a bot for each voice and everything.
You can. Like 11 Labs will do that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's may not be as complicated. I thought you wanted to do like an actual physical, like.
Well,
I'd
the
look up
goal,
Santa
the
Claus.
goal, ultimate, how I originally thought of it is like you do it on a physical phone. So you have a phone, right? Like this. A kid calls, like it's a couple of buttons, and he can call like 10 people, or like it's a screen, and he calls. Someone's got to build a fucking phone, and all the hardware shit, right? That's not going to be anyone else.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? It's just
That's
easier.
not gonna
They
be
can call
me.
on mom's phone, or they can download it on their iPad. So
Yeah,
we don't
yeah.
need to just use the thing. They can just call it right there. Like,
And then talk to Santa.
yeah, talk to her mom's phone, dad's phone, whatever, right? Like,
Dude, mom's been being so mean to me. I hope you give her some coal.
yeah. But again, that's a good idea.
That is a good idea.
So
I think that's a really good idea, actually. So that might actually be something that we should.
or we can just use a call center, dude. They're calling like somebody.
They're calling
Hello,
Cambodia. They're calling in Cambodia. Though.
That'd be so funny. Like, imagine, like, hey, this is like
This is Santa Claus. And you hear a bunch of people talking in the background.
Shut the fuck up.
They're making like 100 phone calls at the same time.
That'd be
Dude,
hilarious.
imagine. Well, I mean, I think the first thing is we got to finish this app. We have to get some users. We have to invite users onto it, which means that we have to go
Do free
to,
for 100 users.
for sure. Yeah, but
You know, like whatever, 1,000 users. I don't like I said, the cost is so low, right? I think what we do is anyone listening to the podcast, anyone listening on TikTok, you know, we give like the free version, right? All the ads that we push on the internet, we do like a 30-40% discount. Because then that way we can like, you know, we can track ad spend easily.
Mhm, mhm.
And I think Facebook ads are gonna be great. We said it coming from
Well,
fucking affordability perspective.
using the discount code, we could see where we could do like TikTok.
Like we can be like most companies will charge you $500 for a will. We'll do it for $30.
Yeah.
It's a thing that every parent should have. Something like that. We can do a couple of recordings ourselves. We can fucking walk the golf course.
Mhm.
We'll be playing golf.
You just tell your story. I had a kid, man. I never thought about this before until I had a kid.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking, like, what happens?
No,
You
I
know,
never
like,
had
what
this
is
until I had a kid, and I went online and tried to like do one. And it was like hundreds of dollars,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Hey, like fuck it, I'll build it." And here I am. I want to make sure that everyone has this for very, very affordable rate.
There you go. There you go.
There you go. That's the script, dude. And then we blast social media, dude. I think we can get ton of users, especially at the price point we're at. Like,
Yeah, I mean the price point is beating everybody out.
You saw it, right? I
For
sent
sure.
you a text. Like, what did I send you? I think I sent you something a while ago. Let me see.
For the price, I mean everybody else.
All
Like
right,
you said,
here.
it's like $200.
This is one of our competitors, right? So they have an all access plan for $219. They have a plus plan for $149, which is basically our basic plan. And then they have a starter plan, which is basically nothing, for $109. So $219, $149, and $109.
Is that a year or monthly?
That's a I believe, I don't know what it was. I didn't really click on the learn more.
Mhm.
I think it's a yearly.
Mm-hmm.
So think about that. We just come in hot, dude. We just, again, this could be where they started noticing like, hey, like these guys are charging way less. Like, cop them up. That's the conversation.
Yeah. Well, they undercut us, or we
They
get the
can't undercut
business,
us.
or we get the business.
No, they can't undercut us
No. Well,
because their cost is already high.
correct.
It's you.
We already have too much overhead.
Yeah, we have zero overhead. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Our
We
overhead,
did it for the people, dude.
for the
That's
people.
the fucking thing, dude. We
That's
did
the
it for the people.
That's the theory, man. That's the thesis. We're here for the people, solving the people's problems.
Yeah, dude, Jesse, I see you, my boy. You're on there, bro. You want a free will, dude? You just hit me up, dude. Hit me up. Free will, dude.
You'll see below. Actually, we're gonna I'll add another like a code, a YouTube. We'll do a free referral here. So we'll do. Check it up below in the description on TikTok, where we post.
Hey, some
we'll add
guy named Beto asked, "How do you make sure it meets legal requirements?" Dude, basically, a will, as long as you type it out and two people sign it, and the tester, basically the person that is the will is about, signs it, it's good. That's a will. What you might get fucked up in is like how you write it. So if you just try to do it at home and write some like legal jargon that you have no idea about, then that's what might fuck you. Or like, there are other documents that go with it too. So we built out an entire backend that matches every single legal criteria for every single state. So if you're filing, let's say if you are building a will from Colorado, and Colorado has two testers, they have to be 21, they can't be the beneficiary. All of that is built out already and in our backend. So regardless of what state you make the will from, it pulls that requirement for that state. So it's a legit piece of document.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And you make sure it follows the state's requirements.
Yep.
And everything.
No, we did like, I've been doing like tests every day, and we checked out almost every single state that basically matches the requirement.
Yeah.
So,
and caveat, you do still have to go get it notarized. We don't do the notary for you, so you do have to get that, and that's what makes it, that's
official.
That's the witness. Yeah, that's the one.
So well, you have to fill out the document and get it notarized. Obviously, like we can't do that for you, but we can give you the exact document of what it looks like, and it's pretty cool. Like you can put in a lot of assets. You can write custom clause. Like, let's say you have a child and you have a house, and you don't want to give that child a house until he finishes college or he turns 30 or whatever. Then you can write those caveats into the will to make sure like it's in there, right? All of that follows. So like even like let's say like you are you have a ton of debt that needs to be paid off after you die. All of that stuff is going to be written out in the will. Like so some of those things that you might forget if you just try to write a will out yourself. So we put a lot of thought into kind of like
what questions to ask and everything like that. Yeah, it's like what can you add in there to make sure you don't forget it. And what's nice about it with the pro plan, you could go back and edit it, right? So it is essentially a living document, right? You could go back and add more things, add more assets, take away some assets if things change and things like that. Or
updates. So every year, let's say like something happens and you buy a new house and a new house needs to be added on there, or you opened up a new account, or you purchase a rental property, whatever that might be. You want to continue to add onto the will to make sure. And again, it's not just like one for protection of your family, for your child and whatnot, but it's also for like to make sure like who you're leaving everything to, they know where everything is. Like, that's also very important because like this happened to me, right? Like my grandfather died like when I was in like 6th, 7th grade or something like that, and they just didn't know what the fuck the guy had. he had a lot. No one knew, so they had to do a lot of digging and shit like that to find out like, where things were at, right? So if you had a will, none of this like would have been very easily be able to figure it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, if you have 2 kids, 3 kids, 4 kids, you probably want to make sure like there's no animosity amongst the kids for who gets the house, or if all of the kids are in the house, how do you plan? Like, what is going to happen? Are you going to want to sell the house, or all of that things is things you have to think about, and we made sure to think it for you and put it on the app.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Trying to make life easier and make it affordable, right? We want to be able to solve this problem without charging you an arm and a leg, and making sure that you're able to have these solutions as well. And that will save you an arm and a leg, quite literally, in the future, maybe. So.
Contract guard, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same thing, right? Like, small business owners, like, like, I'll give you a prime example, right? Like, when I got married here in Temecula, but we had to sign a bunch of contracts from a bunch of different places, the venue, the flower, all the caterers, and all this nonsense, right? You're physically having to read what happens if they don't show up the day of the wedding. Like, what happens if there's a rain and shit like that. Like, so the point of the app is like, it makes the legal jargon easier to understand, so you are aware. Right? This goes for small photographers. Let's say you own a restaurant and you get a potato vendor, and the fucking potato vendor doesn't deliver potato. Like, you can't make fries. Like, that's cost to your business. You need to understand, like, are there clauses that protect, like, vendor, what happens in case of like typically in software we talk about like runtime, right? And it affects runtime, like, so different things to think about, which you wouldn't think about. A rental agreement. Let's say you have a rental agreement and you just signed it, and you want to probably make sure like what you're signing, like that your landlord can't just fucking come in here and just bust in your door, dude. Like, that's
how do you protect yourself, right? How does it protect? Yeah, how do you make sure that you're not signing your life away, or if you are the one writing the contract, how do you make sure that you're protected as well?
Or even in these like contracts you sign for like Spectrum, T-Mobile, all these companies, there are hidden clauses on there that are like, oh, price increases every like 5 months. Like, unless you call that out, that's staying in there, and they're gonna be like, oh, you signed the contract, like some bullshit like that. But we want to make sure like in plain English what it's saying. We're not providing legal advice. We're just providing, hey, this is what the fuck this says. You should probably be aware. And then with that, you can take it to the attorney and fucking,
or even bring it up. Sometimes
you can bring it up.
Sometimes just bringing it up to them, they'll say, hey, yeah, actually, we don't have to charge that, and you save yourself some money and everything like that. It's just, they don't assume people to read through the fine print. In which case, maybe we're reading through the fine print.
The more contracts the contract guard reads, the better it gets. People, the self-fulfilling. People don't get it. But again, that's a few things. There's tons more. SurveyMonkey can make $500 billion. I don't know if they're $500 million selling form fill.
Billion?
No, selling form fills. But I think there's hope. Now, how much is SurveyMonkey worth? Who owns them? Probably Intuit or something. Who owns SurveyMonkey? Such an easy app, dude. Like,
Momentive.
They got bought for $1.5 billion. $1.5 billion for building a fucking form fill. That is disgusting to me.
Yeah.
What do they make? Like, think about it. What the fuck was it? It's just a form.
But everybody uses it. Everybody uses SurveyMonkey.
I get SurveyMonkey shit all the time, dude. Like,
that's what I'm saying. It's like it works and people are using it. So 26 years they've been around. They were one of the first. $481 million a year,
bro. There you go. They're making $500 million a year from making a survey, bro. Get out of here. Like, so long story short, dude, we're on to something.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, dude, but that's a good idea. A suite, because it's going towards that, right? We're gonna have other legal applications, legal quasi applications.
I'm thinking of like 3 others right now, but there's.
Yes,
the verticalization, but like not in the sense of replacing. We watched a video today on Y Combinator. They released a video of like, hey, this is the kind of company we're investing in, and they're not so much investing on these companies, the AI wrappers per se, but they're investing on AI verticalization, so to speak. So essentially, how do you replace the lawyer? And we're kind of saying like, well, you know what? I don't think you could actually replace the lawyer itself. There are certain rules that would have to change, and almost society will change.
AI can't go and battle your case for you. That's the fact.
Correct. But is that me? Oh, it's my dog. Sorry. It's I lost my train of thought because the dog.
The Y Combinator.
But the Y Combinator is saying you cannot replace the lawyer, you can't replace the attorney, but we think we could maybe replace all the easier functions that they do maybe on a daily basis, like
and build a
checking
suite around
contracts. Yeah, make that entire thing easier and cheaper and everything. So
and then you can sell the entire thing to a lawyer agency, But the point of what you can do with AI, at least from what I can see, is build simple applications, but build a lot of them. And then maybe if you start building applications that are in the same area of vicinity, then you can build a portfolio or like a suite of those products. And then you can do anything with that, right? Like you could, hey, with this 10 apps, you can solve like most of your problems. And you can integrate those apps kind of later down the road if you want to build all that into a singular app. That's possible, which you could totally do as well. But this allows you to do things in a very small, verticalized way. Solve singular problem, dude. There you go. Thesis is solve singular problems. Don't try to solve the entire fucking
cheaply and efficiently.
Yeah, solve a singular problem. There's a ton of singular problems, dude. Ton, the form thing, right? Like that's a fucking problem. Like,
we're on it.
Obituary, dude. Like, fuck, get out of here. Like,
the obituary one.
That goes fit right within this will business,
Yeah, there you go.
Cemetery game, dude. Like, you got that.
You got to write the obituary. Who would have thought that that's a thing? And that's kind of hard. That's not as easy.
Another morbid fucking subject on this will, right? Or it could just be a feature ad on our.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. The three things that they say that every single person goes through is life, death, and love.
Like taxes.
No, not even. And you can evade taxes, but love. Those are the three things that people will always buy and sell into. It's because it's the three things that are inevitable in life. So if we could target those kinds of three things, no matter how maybe morbid they could be, but they are a necessary thing. So.
Oh, dude, I totally forgot. Fantasy football starting. Me and Oscar are in a. I've been in the same playing the same league for like almost 10 years now. Oscar joined 2 years ago. It's a keeper league, and we got a second year in the league, and he came in last place last year.
I got Jalen Hurts last year as my keeper. I don't know who to put as my keeper this year.
He's probably pretty good.
Jalen Hurts again?
Yeah.
I don't know. He didn't do that great that last year.
He was second.
He was second. Yeah.
He was second. He was good.
Yeah, I'll do Jalen Hurts again. I don't know.
Yeah. But anyways, my team sucked, dude. I came like fourth of my team. I'm looking back at my roster for keeper, and I'm like, just an ass. But
yeah, I don't know. I got to switch it up. I also I don't know who I got my first round. I think I got another quarterback, I think. So yeah.
Got to change up your strategy, dude.
Yeah. That's
got to get some studs. You know what you do, dude? If you probably just draft exactly what ChatGPT tells you, we'll probably fine. But the draft is on Brett's fucking thing when we're there. Got to draft on my phone, dude.
Oh,
me, you, Nolan, Hugo, Bond. We're all gonna be drafting from our phone.
Well, that means everybody who's there pretty much is doing it. Yeah, so that's not that bad. But we'll do it there. Well, in any case. Episode 21, thank you for coming. Episode 22, we'll see you next week.
Gang. Dude,
we love you.
22 weeks.
22 weeks. Who would have thought? Ciao for now.